so I'm about to kick this off. I've got my first two deodorants. On the left here, the Fatco Stank Stop Stick. And then over here, I've got the, I don't know how to pronounce this, Marlin+Goetz Botanical Deodorant. So what I'll be doing is applying the Fatco on my left, this one on my right, and yeah, I'll be getting my wife to have a sniff, do the sniff test, and give me feedback each day. And if she can't decide which one is better, I'll just get her to test it again another 3 or 6 hours or even 12 hours later to determine, you know, which product was the better product. So remember, best out of 3 for these first few rounds. I'm not going to record every single update, but I'll do an update in a week or so, you know, once I've tested a few products, and we'll update the score sheet. And we'll check it in there, all right? This one smells really good. Good luck. May the best deodorant win. All right, guys, so the first round of my deodorant knockout is all complete. Now, I've got a few little updates, insights to share with you. First things first, we've tested 246. Tested 12 different products so far, and I can say that all of them are pretty good. I mean, they're really good. In fact, there were none that, like, within a few hours you're thinking, oh my god, I smell. They were all really, really good. So that's a great start. Some were obviously better than others, and that's what we're gonna try and determine who is the best. I was putting deodorant on in the evening time before bed after a shower, right? And then I was retesting, or I was getting my wife to smell before I showered the next day. So about 23, 24 hours later, right? And there was only 1 or 2 days that were really, really bad, like, Alex, go have a shower, put some more deodorant on. The rest were really good, even after 23, 24 hours. Now, a few little insights. My wife kind of got sick of smelling my arms every night. Early on, she was like, oh yeah, fine, this is fine. And then she had a few quite bad experiences where it put her off. She was like, oh, you know, every night she'd sort of come up to the armpit and, you know. So I didn't really think about that part of it. So a few nights what I had to do is do a self-test, right? And I actually did them on the nights that she was doing it as well, before she gave her feedback. And I can say that all my picks as for which was better and which was worse lined up with hers, so that was good to know. So anyway, let's run through all the rounds and we'll update the chart. So Fatco Stank Stop Stick, God, that's a mouthful. That came out in the winner in the first head-to-head, though it was very close. Booda Butter came out number 1 over the Native Sensitive, though I should mention that both of these products had melted. They'd come from America, and the Booda Butter had actually leaked, like the whole jar. I had to clean it all off. It was a bit of a mess, not great. The Native Stick, if I had that here, Native Sensitive Stick. Now this is a screw to unwind. If you can see that there, see how it's all melted? It must have been lying on its side. I can't actually push that up, so I had to scrape out it, like using my finger to scrape out of it, which was a bummer. So both of those are melted. Most of these came in the same parcel, so I don't know what happened there. This was the worst I've had so far. This is the Native Sensitive one, to the point where I was sitting at a table outside and my wife was downwind and she had to get up and sit across the table because she's like, Alex, this smells so bad. Remember though, that was 23 hours, and on that day I'd been outside chopping firewood and stuff, so I worked up a bit of a sweat. So the Booda Butter came out top there. The Fatco Pit Spray versus the Pit Paste Regular. The Pit Paste Regular came out on top there. But I should mention I developed a bit of a rash down here after 2 days. Now, this is the product that I use quite a bit, and I just cycle it. Like, I know if I get a bit of a rash, I just change to something else. So it's typically about a week or 2 before I develop that rash, and it's mild. It's never been severe. So just thought I'd mention that. Wasn't enough to drop the product out. The Fatco Paste then went up against the Native Regular deodorant, and the Native came out on top, though I should mention that the Native left quite a strong soapy smell. Like, you just noticed it all the time. You're kind of like, I don't know, like I had soap on me that I hadn't washed off, alright? But anyway, that progresses through to the next round. Fat in the Moon cream trumped the coconut oil, which I kind of expected given that these are deodorants and a lot of them use coconut oil, but they also use other products. And then finally we had the No Pong Bicarb free come out over the Marlin+Goetz. I don't even know how to say that, I'm sorry. Now one thing I need to mention is these two entries, the Marlin+Goetz, like I said, I'm sorry. The first one I had, the Botanical, man, that smells awesome. It smells like a real high-end fragrance, which is really great. But I noticed that they're not technically natural deodorants. I mean, there's lots of chemical names in here. Now, I didn't realize that. I just reached out for advice on good natural deodorants. Now, this has got a lot of natural fragrances and stuff in it, but yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh, I probably wouldn't have included that if I'd known it, but I'd already typed up this chart, so I was like, oh, we'll just leave it in and see how they go. But I can say that none of the products got through to the second round. They're still good though, and I'll keep using them. I mean, I'll use all these deodorants because they still work, and like I said, they had a good smell. I probably won't order it again though, just because some of these chemicals in here, I'm like, ugh, what's that? But anyway, so that's that. We're now progressing into round two. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 head-to-heads. Then we go to the semi-final, and then of course the final. So I'll update you in a few weeks' time when I've got all of that data, and then we'll come down to the final. See you then. All right, guys. So it's been a few weeks, maybe even a few months since I did my last deodorant update, and I do have some new winners and some interesting insights, all right? So you're gonna wanna stay around for this one. So first up, we had the Fatco Stank versus the No Pong Original. Now, the winner of those two, it was the No Pong Original, right? So the Fatco Stank was, it got really soft on a warm day, but it went on really thick as well. It was a little bit too pasty for my liking. And it still worked okay. Well, it still worked good to be honest, but the No Pong was the better product there. Okay, so next up we had the Booda Butter versus the Pit Paste Regular. Now the winner there was the Pit Paste product, Pit Paste Regular. Booda Butter worked, but not as long. The Pit Paste was just such a better product. Plus, that coconut smell in the Booda Butter really put me off. My wife noticed it, I noticed it obviously. Even on my clothes a little bit, you get that coconut oil smell, which I didn't really like. So next up, we had the Native Regular Mint versus Pit Paste Strong. Now, the winner here was the Pit Paste Strong product. I need to mention though, the Native product worked really, really well. There was, in fact, I couldn't, and this is interesting because this is something that applies to a lot of the future tests. I couldn't really notice a smell difference after 24 hours between the Native product and the Pit Paste Regular. And I know that's what I said I'd be testing for, but there was a winner in my mind. There was a product that was better, and that was the Pit Paste product. The Native product had quite a soapy smell to it. All right, when you put it on, you know, it smelled like soap, right? But I noticed it on my body, just like I did with the Booda Butter with the coconut smell. The Native product had quite a strong soapy smell, and even the next day, you know, if you smelled under your armpits, it was like, oh, it smelled like soap. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Hey, like it could smell like body odor, and that would be horrible. But I'd prefer not to smell really soapy, right? It smelled like you just got out of the shower and hadn't really rinsed off really well. But it was stopping the body smells, so that was good. The Pit Paste, on the other hand, no smell whatsoever after 24 hours. However, I did develop a bit of a rash. It wasn't bad, like I could still use it. I just noticed a bit of a rash starting to emerge, which is why, like, because I have used Pit Paste a lot, is why typically I use the regular or even the light products. But from a smell prevention point of view, it was great. So they come out number one here. All right, now last up we had Fat in the Moon and the No Pong Bicarb Free. Now, this was really hard. In fact, you know what? I tested this for longer than 3 days. It's been about a week now, and I can't pick a winner. I simply can't. I know I always said I was going to not apply them after 24 hours and you know, take it into the next day and stuff and see who was the winner. But for a couple of reasons, I've changed this rule. Firstly, like I've been doing a lot of training recently, so typically, you know, I train in the afternoon and that's when I shower and put on my deodorant, right? some days I've been really sweaty, you know, like dripping with sweat, and I have a shower and I just didn't really want to not put on deodorant, right? And in my mind, I'm like, well, any deodorant that's lasting 24 hours and still doing its job is amazing, right? Like, you don't really expect to put deodorant on once a week, for instance. Saying that, someone did leave a comment about a product that apparently you can apply once or twice a week. So I'm gonna go out and buy that and test that as well. I'll do a separate video on that, so be sure to subscribe. But I've just decided, I was like, you know what? If it's lasting 24 hours, that's cool. I didn't want to subject myself and my wife to potentially being really smelly after, you know, 2 days. I don't know. I just didn't like the thought of doing that, stretching it out for that long. So I couldn't, like you may have noticed with the other few head-to-heads, I've picked the winner based on, you know, the smell or the texture or something. Now, I couldn't pick a winner between Fat in the Moon and the No Pong Bicarb. So what that's resulted in now is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 winners to go into the quarterfinal rounds. But I realized I'm going to have the same results, right? Like, I'm pretty much going to have the same outcome, the same problem over and over again, because all of these products are so good. I mean, they all work at stopping the body smelling, or your armpits at least. So that's what I was really looking for here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sit down, we're going to go through these 5 products, and I'm going to talk about them individually and share my concluding thoughts. So in a way, I'm stopping this experiment. I know it's kind of sad, but I realized there's really no need to press on. So let's wrap this up. All right, so we're left with 5 products, 5 winners, if you want to call it that. Let's go through them one by one. We have the No Pong Original, the No Pong Bicarb Free, the Pit Paste Regular, and the Pit Paste Strong. And finally, we have Fat in the Moon Deodorant Cream. Fat in the Moon. When I went into this experiment, the quest was to find the best natural deodorant that worked, that lasted the longest, pretty much, I guess. In hindsight now, I realize I didn't really need to find one that lasted the longest. And to be honest, I didn't expect to have this many products that would all work after 24 hours, but they do. So my conclusion is this. Out of those 5 products, well, there's 3 companies, isn't there? There's Pit Paste, Primal Pit Paste, there's No Pong, and there's Fat in the Moon. Now, as you would have noticed, there's 2 products. Of course, there's 2 products with No Pong, and there's 2 products with Pit Paste. Both of those companies do a low or no bicarb product. So if you are like me and you do get a bit of a rash or a reaction, which is what I was getting with the Pit Paste Strong, and I didn't actually get it with the No Pong product, but if you are like me and you do get that rash, then yeah, you just go with their bicarb free products. And I didn't really notice any downside with going with the bicarb free options. So yeah, that's good news as well. So pretty much you have 3 choices: Primal Pit Paste, No Pong, or Fat in the Moon. As for deciding which one you go for out of those 3 companies, it really comes down to price, or yeah, I mean, I didn't really want to break down into like looking at all ingredients and going through price and all that, because it wasn't really what I was trying to do with this video. And in fact, I don't even have the prices here with me. So yeah, those are my 3 recommendations: No Pong, Fat in the Moon, or Primal Pit Paste. But I should say, out of those like last, 8 products that I tested, all of them worked, at least for 12 hours. Some of them were still working great at 24 hours. I just knew I had to try and pick a winner. For instance, the Native Mint product, which I have here. It still was working after 24 hours. It just smelled really soapy, and I didn't like that. But they all work, which is really, really good. Because these are good quality deodorants, right? So look, if you want to know which one I would use out of these 5 products or 3 companies, or which one I'd go out and buy, I've been using Primal Pit Paste for a long time. 5 years, 6, 7 years maybe. I've been using No Pong for about 2 years. I always liked the Pit Paste. I'd always mix it up though, because sometimes I'd get those rashes. No Pong, I found to be even a better product. Like, you only needed a little bit of this and it worked really, really good. I don't like the container of the No Pong container. It's kind of hard to open sometimes. Maybe that's just me. You gotta really use your fingernails and pop it open. Yeah, there we go. And then as you can see, it's quite like a moisturizing sort of paste. It's quite thick. It goes on well though, and like I said, you only need a little bit. The pit paste, which I have here, it's a lot easier to open, and the product is a lot smoother. It's sort of easier to apply. I typically use a little bit more of this than I would with the No Pong, but again, one container here is 2 ounces, whereas the No Pong is 1.2 ounces, so you do get more. Fat in the Moon, again, it's got a screw top lid. It's probably more like the Primal Pit Paste product. If anything, it's too soft, especially in the warmer temperature. So if you are in a warm environment, you know, you live close to the equator or something like that, you might be more inclined to go with No Pong, or Pit Paste, I guess. No Pong, Fat in the Moon, and Primal Pit Paste, congratulations. You're all, the top 3 deodorants based on my little fun experiment here. I'm kind of glad that it's over, because it's been a bit, I don't know, it's been a bit of a journey doing all the testing and whatnot. And I realized pretty soon going into this that it was going to be very hard to find a clear winner. So this is why I've decided, you know, we're going to do it this way. I hope you've enjoyed this. For me, I will continue using my No Pong, my Primal Pit Paste, and of course the Fat in the Moon I have around here. Check out their websites, see which one, you know, if you live outside America, maybe you find one that does free international shipping or something like that. Be sure to subscribe though, because there was this other product, I forgot the name of it. Let's start with L. I've ordered that, and I'm going to do a quick test of that when it arrives. Apparently that product you only need to put on once or twice a week, which is pretty neat. So I might do like a big week-long comparison between, you know, No Pong and that one. Who knows? Anyway. Share your thoughts. If you've enjoyed this, give me a like, and be sure to subscribe. And I thank you for watching. Bye, guys.